My name is Nina Carter, and I'm a travel planner from Boise, Idaho. I build perfect itineraries for other people. I know when the cheapest flights are, which hotels have the strongest Wi Fi, and how to book experiences that seem spontaneous but are actually calculated down to the minute. But last winter, I booked a weekend trip for myself that didn't go as planned, and I ended up spending the night in a mountain lodge with five complete strangers. It was one of the most unexpectedly meaningful nights of my life. I had planned to take a solo weekend off near Lake Tahoe, just a few hours' drive from Reno. The idea was simple: 3 days to recharge, hike, and read without emails or noise. The first 2 days were perfect. The trails were open, the air was crisp, and my phone had just enough signal to post a few pictures, but not enough to be distracted. But on the third day, everything changed. A surprise snowstorm rolled in fast, one of those blizzards that doesn't give you time to think. I had just left a local trail cafe when visibility dropped. My rental car skidded, and the road signs became a blur of white. I tried to make it back to the main road, but I was lost. That's when I saw it, a wooden sign, nearly buried in snow. Evergreen Ridge Lodge, zero point 0.5 miles. I followed it like a lifeline. The lodge looked like something out of a postcard. Rustic, 2 stories, smoke rising from the chimney. It felt warm even from outside. I knocked, snow falling from my hood, hoping someone was inside. A man opened the door, mid-30s, flannel shirt, beard, and a surprised look on his face. "Are you lost too?" he asked. That's how I met Jordan. He wasn't the owner. He was a hiker who had also stumbled on the lodge when the storm caught him off guard. Inside, 5 people had found the same place. Jordan, a quiet woman named Mira from Sacramento, who was an artist on retreat. A recently retired couple from Minnesota named Ray and Colleen, and a backpacker from Australia named Luke, who was in the middle of a cross-country hike. No one knew each other. No one expected to be there. But we were stuck, at least until the storm cleared. There was no Wi-Fi, no TV, no service. Just a fireplace, a few books, mismatched blankets, and enough food in the lodge pantry to get us through a night. At first, it was awkward. We were polite, quiet, cautious. But then someone suggested a game of cards. Colleen pulled out a travel deck from her bag, and just like that, the evening shifted. We played for hours. Then Mira offered to sketch everyone. Jordan told the story of how he quit his corporate job to become a wilderness guide. Luke shared wild tales from his travels through Europe. And I, for the first time in months, spoke about how exhausting it was to plan everyone else's dream lives while forgetting to live mine. At one point, we all sat around the fire, wrapped in blankets, drinking hot cocoa made from powdered packets we found in the kitchen. Ray looked around and said, "This feels like one of those moments you don't realize is special until it's gone." We all nodded, because somehow 5 strangers had become a kind of accidental family. Not for long, but just long enough. By morning, the storm cleared. Plows had reached the main road. We exchanged numbers, hugs, and promises to keep in touch, though we all knew we might never see each other again. And that was okay, because what we shared wasn't meant to last forever. It was meant to remind us of something important, that sometimes being lost brings you exactly where you're supposed to be. I returned to Boise different. I stopped over-planning. I started taking spontaneous trips again. And I created a surprise getaway service through my travel business. an option for people to go somewhere without knowing every detail. I called it the unscripted escape. And every time someone tells me how much they loved it, I smile because I know where the idea came from. From that snow covered night, from that fireplace, from five strangers who reminded me that some of life's most interesting moments come when the script falls away.